So, hello and welcome to my next chess video. This time I'm showing you the game between Houdini 4x64B versus Stockfish 1.0 Ya, and I let them play this opening. I'll just show you the opening moves. The Blackburn variation of the Italian game, and this arises after those moves here. Bishop c4, for example, c5 castles, knight here, d3 protecting the pawn, d6, oh, sorry, not castles, bishop c4, c5, c3, knight here attacking on e5, pawn here defending, d6 and b4, the Blackburn variation of this Italian game. So the bishop has to retreat, and now maybe a5 followed up with a4, b4, kicking the knight back, and maybe trying to go after this weak f7 pawn. This could be one idea you could try here, but I'm not sure if this is any good, because h6 in the next move and white has to go away. Maybe there is some opportunity to sacrifice something. Takes, knight here takes, no, there is absolutely nothing. Pawn bishop takes, no, there is absolutely nothing, so we have bishop b5. But this could be an interesting variation here with this d4 thrust. If you take here, take there, take here, then maybe rook here, a3, b5, takes, knight pushes and takes yet another pawn, queen here threatens mate, and yeah, you cannot even move that pawn because that pawn is pinned, so oh, you cannot go there. Actually, this whole stuff doesn't work because the bishop is covering this whole diagonal here, so there are no crazy attacks possible. So maybe you can go queen b3, but I don't see the point in doing that, actually, if d4 is not working here. So, okay, we have that position. Let's say queen b3 not. Maybe knight here, going after f7, castles, and then go h4 immediately. Because after h3 now you can sacrifice. Even now I'm not sure if you can sacrifice a piece there. Let's say you just develop the knight, takes. The problem is you can jump in here with the knight, block the queen's route to this square, but okay, queen here. Maybe you can go there. The knight still has no squares where it can go to. It can jump here, attack the rook, and prevent any queen jumping in here. Then maybe d5. This could get very messy. No, not d5, because the rook is hanging. So, okay, we have this a4 advance, which is clear. a4, a5, or a6. Let's try and go a6. Then I would go b4, kick the bishop, and yeah, still I'm gonna try this. And going with knight there to maybe try and get in b4. And if h6 there, takes, knight here, and d4. Maybe this kind of thing works. A threatening mate. Okay, you have one check. You have actually two checks. You win the queen. No, you have to go there and allow that check. Yeah, okay, this square is covered by the knight, this square by the bishop, this is covered, this is covered. You cannot go there, you cannot go there, you cannot go there. Those squares you cannot go due to some knight checks, which would be a discovered attack on the queen. And if you go there, then there, then this is the square where you can give check with the knight. So this doesn't work. Sacrificing pawns there. So, okay. We have castles instead of a4. Yeah, that's probably normal. Because you want to have both options either to push a5 or to push b5. And castles is always a good option. Let's go and try bishop to here. Just pinning the knight. So let's say h3, which is normal. Bishop there and knight to here. Defending the knight. I'm trying to go bishop to b2. So let's say castles, bishop b2, which is normal, and then yeah, the game continues. You can also go after castles, instead of bishop g4, you can go castles immediately, then h3 maybe, h6 to stop any bishop landing on this square here. No, queen b3 doesn't do anything here, so I would still go bishop b2 to at least cover the rook, so that you can push the knight away. Let's say bishop e3, bishop takes, pawn takes, and b3 takes, and now the rook is defended, the knight has to move, and now you can maybe get in b5, although your e4 pawn is hanging, so you might as well defend this first. For example, queen e2, but then you have to face d5. No, d5 is also not a threat because the e5 pawn is hanging. So queen here could be an option, but I don't know after this what happens after that move, because now, yeah, knight coming into f4 is pretty painful, I think. So that's not good. So let's go with the normal move, rook e1. Still knight there. Trying. Now I don't know if it's working because of knight takes here, opening up a discovered attack towards the knight. So let's continue normally. Knight g6, adding more protection to this pawn here. Takes, for example, and now e5. And you can exchange everything as black, and I don't think that there is a problem for black in that position. Knight c6, and white has also no problems here. So, okay, we have currently the position castles on the board. So this, something like this could arise in that position. So castles on the board. And Houdini is currently thinking about knight bd2. So let's say bishop g4. Why is bishop g4 not so bad? Maybe because you can go g5. Okay, I think you can go g5. Maybe you can even go g4. No, you can't because the knight is jumping in here. and it's defended by the bishop. Okay, maybe kicking the knight is a bit too much. Okay, leaving the structure as it is here on the queen side. Maybe attacking the bishop is right here, facilitating f4. Okay, first you have to get rid of this strong dark square bishop before you can push f4, because the pawn is currently pinned, the f pawn. So, okay, attacking the bishop. Knight takes, knight takes. Yeah, this is working for white. So, what's black's next move there? It's actually hard to get a move in here for black. Bishop g4 is the move Stockfish is calculating. Bishop g4. So exactly the line I'm looking at currently. So bishop g4, knight h5. Okay, you cannot move the h pawn, because then you just lose the bishop, because the f pawn is pinned. So okay, the knight. You could move the knight somewhere, but where? Okay, the knight is currently very nicely placed. The other knight. You could move it to here, and after takes, you could go knight takes, and you have now a nice square for the knight here in the front of the here on f4. But okay, white can go there, prevent you from jumping in here. Then maybe h4, but then g5, and the position gets pretty closed. The knight has to retreat, and now maybe even h4, and you have a constant weakness here on h5. The knight just needs to move somewhere, and then the queen is attacking this pawn. So h5 might not be the best idea. So let's jump in here. Eliminate this knight, takes, and yeah, but giving white those mobile central pawns is also not what you want to do. So, yeah, white stands a little bit better there, I think. Bishop g4 we have on the board, h3. So let's cover this line a little bit. Knight here. Okay, let's cover knight f4 for a little bit longer. Takes, and not quite sure what to play here. Maybe you can go queen d2, connect rooks and attack this g-pawn. And how is black actually defending this? I don't see it. So black is losing a pawn. So black cannot jump into f4. The bishop has an eye on this square. So let's say we move the knight, because we want to get knight h4 in, and afterwards the queen into that space. But now what is white doing? Maybe bishop to here, attacking the queen. So let's say queen here. And now you can go king there. Knight here, and go f4. Maybe this is an idea you can go, but h6. Maybe you can sack the bishop even. Takes. Okay, now the knight can jump in here with a check, and okay, I don't think you can do that. Sacrificing the bishop that way. So, okay, bishop h5 we have. So that's reasonable. Hmm. Yeah, I quite like white's position here. After bishop h5, g4, I expect, but Houdini is currently thinking about bishop a2, so even more waiting, not gaining more space here on the king side immediately. But via playing g4, also the queen can also go just away from this pin, because the knight is still covering the knight. So you can also do it that way. Let's go bishop a2. Let's say knight here. Okay, but then g4 and knight there. And this knight not even can also think about jumping into this f5 square now, and also can think about taking the bishop, so both options are available. Yeah, g4 looks like the way to go there. Straightforward g4. Rook fe1 is now the preferred move by Houdini. Rook fe1. And then h6. And knight d2 f1. Okay, this is another option to get the bishop away from this pin, just to go knight g3, which is of course better in a way, because it not only attacks the bishop, it's also directed for this f5 square, and when a knight is jumping into h4, then there is two knights controlling this f4 square, so that should be nice. So this can be an option. So let's say now it's black's move. How is this line actually continuing? Knight a1, d5. Okay, d5. Pawn takes, knight here, bishop there. A knight here maybe. But what does this really do? f4 just kicks away the knight. So okay, probably not taking this, but bishop a2. Okay, that's why bishop a2 is was suggested before earlier. Bishop a2, pawn takes. Yeah, but black can exchange queens after this. d5, pawn takes. d5 maybe still taking, or taking with the bishop. Not quite sure. Yeah, takes, and knight g3 looks like the way to go. Bishop here, and maybe then d5. Is d5 an option here? Not quite sure. Not quite sure if d5 is an option there. Okay, but we have a different move here. We don't have d5. After rook e1, we don't have h6. We have queen here. Now a5, bishop a7, and still knight to here. Also knight e3 is an option. This is also nice. Knight e3, you shouldn't forget about knight e3, but the bishop can still snap it off. So bishop a7 and queen a4. This is another line Houdini just shows me. Queen a4 here, going after the pinned knight. So now d5 becomes impossible. Well, I'm not sure. d5 takes, knight takes, and knight takes here. Yeah, d5 becomes impossible because this forks knight and queen. So d5 is now out of the question. The knight can hover back to d7, but then takes, knight takes, and yeah, okay, it's an equal endgame, I'm not sure about this, so let's go knight e8. But you can go b5. Oh, you don't have to. You can also go queen b3 or queen to c2 back. That's also nice. Okay, the line continues queen a4, h6, and bishop to b2, followed with knight e7, queen takes d7. Okay, okay, you don't have to go there because this knight is also covering the queen, so it's not a pin. It's only now a pin. When the knight moves, suddenly... No, even now it's not a pin, because the knight can take the knight and... Oh, but here, after all is said and done, the knight is hanging. White is up a piece, okay? So here it works, it prevents e5, so queen a4 here as an option. Queen a4 preventing d5, so queen e7 at some point, queen takes, and now we go for this maneuver, going in here, or at least trying to. Also this knight can come in to this square by the route f1, g3, f5. So this is all an option. Rook e1, queen d7, and queen a4 will happen. I'm quite sure about this. Now h6, bishop b2, and knight e7. Followed up with queen takes queen and knight takes queen. How is this endgame? Okay, white has more space, but not sure. Rook f e8 is what Stockfish is coming up with. Rook f e8 instead of h6, rook f e8. And now knight f3, h4. Going in for that square here. And then rook a d8. Just centralizing. Yeah, very nice play from Stockfish, I have to say. Queen a4, b3, and knight c6, e7. Knight c6, e7 to cover this f5 square. And knight d2, f3. Or even more radical, this was one line. Here rook f e8, knight h4, and now g5, knight f5, and g4, even more violent than anything else, followed by h4. And this is a very intense position here. If something like this would arise on the board. Okay, we have now rook f e8, but I don't think this will happen because Houdini is preparing the move b5, followed up with knight b8, and b takes a6, queen takes a4, queen takes a4, rook takes a4, and knight takes a6. Okay, this knight wants to come into c5, that's clear. From here, wants to jump in there. How to prevent this? Could go d4 maybe. But takes, then you lose that pawn. Okay, that was the reason to put the rook on this e-file to to prevent any d4 break from white. So the rook has to return. So rook here, but now knight here. Okay, now you are 3 times on that pawn. So that makes d4 even harder to execute. So let's say knight here. Knight takes, bishop takes, and after all, black can mess up the structure here, but then white can maybe go in for this d4 move at some point. Maybe followed up with bishop here and d4, or bishop there and d4. And white has the bishop pair, so this position isn't that bad. So let's see what we get. Knight b8, b takes a6. Yeah, this line is, let's see for whom it's better. It's Stockfish gives it as equal, and Houdini gives it as slightly better for white. So knight b8 we have. Now b takes a6 and queen takes queen. Queen takes a4, rook takes a4. And then we go from there. Knight takes a6, knight takes a6, knight h4, knight c5, rook b4. This is what Stockfish gives as moves. Rook b4. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. I just looked at Houdini's line, which runs with knight with bishop a3, with knight here, and bishop takes c5, bishop takes c5, of course, and now you can play d4, because now the bishop would be under attack. Takes, takes, and now the bishop is under attack. So the bishop can move there. Well, I don't know if it can because of bishop here picking up one of the rooks. Picking up one of the rooks. So, but rook takes here, bishop takes there, knight takes there, pawn takes there, knight takes there. Okay, knight takes rook, so you cannot take on d4. So let's say you move back the rook. Or let's say you want to keep it on the a file, so you move this rook there, takes, takes, and now maybe d5. No, you cannot go d5 here. You just take here and black is lost. Not sure if black is lost. Black can still go there. Then after the knight jumps in here, it's really precarious situation. So let's say this rook moves back, so there you keep one move. Takes, takes, and pawn takes here. Now you can go at least behind here. Now black has to defend, and now you can maybe go d5 and maybe try and win that pawn. So this could be playable for black still, this kind of position, but I'm not sure if white has to go for this. White can also just protect the rook and the pawn, and now this bishop is under threat, so the bishop moves, and now you can go d4, for example. Takes, takes, and knight here. Followed up with something like this, maybe. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe this doesn't seem entirely logical. So currently black is threatening to win the pawn. So let's go g5, kick the bishop. And yeah, but how to save the pawn, that's the question here. Four versus something, knight c5. Bishop takes c5. Okay, how to save the pawn? Or is this even the right continuation there? e5. I'm not sure. Okay, currently this pawn is hanging. Currently this pawn is hanging. Moving it is clearly wrong, but you can move that pawn. And if takes, then you can take, and the pinned bishop is lost. So you have to move forward, and then maybe bishop here attacking the rook. Yeah, this is quite nice. This is quite nice because now the bishop is trapped behind its own pawn chain, and white has a beautiful pass pawn over there. So if this position arises, then white is clearly much better. White is not even down material here. White is just one, because here attacking the rook, and now the rook moves somewhere, it doesn't matter. The bishop comes here to a very nice square, defending the pawn and also attacking the rook. So, and black is in a really bad state here. Black is really in a bad state there. Really, really bad. This bishop is just dead. So bishop takes c5 followed by d4. E takes, c takes, and bishop a7 followed up with a6. Yeah, this you can go there and go into this a6 where you cannot take, or you have to go there back immediately, and after a6 takes, rook takes, you can at least exchange rooks there, and it's not that bad. But bishop a7, yeah, you gain a move actually. Yeah, bishop takes, and d4. And let's see both evaluations right around here. Yeah, both are on slightly better for white. So black can maybe hold this to draw, but I wouldn't be in black's shoes there. d4 here. Black has to defend here properly. Okay, bishop a7 after d4. If you go rook a1, then you lose that pawn, right? It's not that easy because you kind of also lose a pawn there. But white is winning that one. It's not so clear. Okay, white is also black is also winning that pawn. Okay, that's clear. So doubling on the a file is not on. So you have to play a6 immediately after d4. d4, e takes d4, bishop a7, and rook eb1. Rook eb1. Okay, this is also interesting. Rook eb1 in that position. Going after that pawn, leaving this one go. Rook b1, bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, king takes, rook takes, and rook takes. And how is the position? Black is up a pawn in this rook endgame. Okay, so this works out pretty fine for black, this kind of tactical line, because at the end the a5 pawn is hanging, so this doesn't work. So let's see, do you have to take this knight? Not quite sure if you have to. You can also take here immediately, give up this pawn for that pawn actually, and now it's again 4 versus 4, and with the threat of f7. No, f7 is not quite threatened yet because the bishop is still covering it, but there black is under some pressure. Oh, okay, f7 is threatened because bishop takes f7, bishop takes f7, rook takes d4, rook takes a5 though, so it's not that clear in that position. So okay, taking c7 is clearly the right spot, but black can also take here, and yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, rook to bishop a7 and rook to b1. Knight takes, no, not knight takes. I wouldn't go knight takes, actually, but there is something about this pawn here. So okay, let's go knight takes, rook takes b7, pawn takes there, rook takes there. You can also take this one and then it's again 4 versus 4, but I'm not sure if this passed pawn is so great here, to be honest. So let's give a check. Say check, king g2, and rook there, going after this d2 pawn. I'm not sure, you can take here with check, and but how actually to defend this? You could take here with the rook, and after rook takes there, go up, and black has no more checks, and there is this discovered check threat winning the house, so black has to go into the corner. And now just rook here again. No, black. Black is actually in trouble because if he moves the king, then the bishop is falling. He cannot move that rook. And rook takes this with check is a threat. So yeah, if you move the rook, you lose those two pieces. So this doesn't work, and we have a move. We don't have rook e to b1. We have rook 4 to b4, attacking b4 for this, and now rook a b8 will probably be played. And now if you somehow can force black into playing g4, this would be great. Rook eb1 now, rook eb1. Okay, takes, knight takes, rook takes. Okay, that's nice because this, and you cannot take here with the bishop because of the back rank mate. So that's nice. Okay, I'm back in a second. See you soon. Okay. We have some moves. With rook b8 and not rook to b1, but rather bishop to d3. And let's see both evaluations right around here. Okay, both are on slightly better for white, but nothing drastical. Bishop b4 g6 is bishop h5 g6 is now what Stockfish is calculating. Adding more pressure to this d4 pawn. Let's see, bishop g6. What's the line? Followed up with rook b4, b3. And king f8. g3, c6. g3, c6, so a little bit slower game. Followed up with king g2, so this is preparing stuff maybe. I'm not sure what these moves are all about, so let's try and grab something. Let's try and grab some space with d5. Okay, then you get d4. And the point of all this is that you can capture with the rook after this. And then the knight can move somewhere. So let's say here. But now the knight is very nicely controlled. This knight cannot go here, not here, and not here, because of those pawns here. And it cannot go here or here because of the rook and the king. So the knight is completely shut down. But why king f8? That's the question. Why go king f8 here? With rook b3. And now rook e7 is what Stockfish is calculating. Rook e7 and king f1 followed up with king f8. Followed up with rook eb1. And b5 then. What has it? Why b5? Oh, deflecting the bishop. Okay, if you take with the rook, then probably rook takes, pawn takes, and d5. And if you push, then you lose the bishop with check. And if you don't, you lose this pawn. But bishop a7 attacks the bishop. And where is the bishop going? Yeah, the bishop is trapped, right? You have to go c6, otherwise you lose the bishop. So then rook takes, king takes. You still have the problem with the d-pawn. It takes and you cannot really defend it. So that's the idea behind this b5 advance. But why king f1? Why not rook b1 immediately? Then why not b5 here? If you take bishop takes, then you clearly lose that pawn like immediately. So yeah, why not? It probably doesn't change the picture much. b5, rook takes b5, rook takes b5, rook takes here, and d5. Followed up with rook here, c6. Oh, rook takes rook. So that's why king f8 has to be played. But why king g1? Why king g1? Rook eb1. Houdini thinks rook eb1 is better than rook g1. Immediately, or now it thinks g3. So why is this the case? Okay, c6 here. Now the rook is also defending the pawn, so... but a6, but now b5. Okay. That's true. That's true. So we have g3 instead. Instead of rook e7, and now we have the move g3 by Houdini. 4, and let's see, h6 is what Stockfish is calculating now. King g2 and rook e7 to e8. Back. Follow up with rook here and d5, but here in this case you can just take the d5 because, yeah, this position is nothing for white. Yeah, also nothing for black either, but okay. So d5, probably e5 here, at least I would go e5. Takes, takes, and knight here. You cannot take due to the fork, so you have to leave the knight there for a little while. And this is also not bad for black. At least I don't think so. If you move back, then knight takes, bishop takes, takes, and bishop takes here, defends the pawn. But a3, a2, a7. Now the king has to go there to remove this threat. I don't know if this pawn compensates, but it looks like, because the bishop can always return here and attack the pawn, so it doesn't seem as though that black is winning that position. So I'm not sure what white is gonna do here. King g2 we have, h6 we have, and our rook eb1. Oh. It's black's move somehow. Oh yeah, okay. King g2 and now c6. It's black's option, so now also the rook is defending this b2 pawn. This a5 pawn is very nice here, covering this b6 square, so there is never any b5 option. Never really, at least not in the future. After rook eb1, we have rook eb1, so white is building up the pressure. And let's see both evaluations right around here. Both engines are on better for white, but it's nothing drastical. Black can still hold that position. Rook ed7. Rook e7, d7. Trying to go d5, maybe. d7 followed up with a6, b5. Yeah, this a pawn is very strong, but this bishop is a really good blockader. 6 b5. e5. Bishop takes d3, bishop takes d3, bishop takes d3, bishop takes d3, and knight to d5. This is the Stockfish side here. And if ever you take there, then the pawn is defended. So I see that. So rook, that's why rook to e7, rook to d7 has been played. And now a6, most probably a6 b5, rook bc1. a6 b5, rook bc1, going after the c6 pawn. b5, rook bc1. And then probably rook to e7. Well, this doesn't work because if bishop takes pawn, the rook is not defended. So how to actually defend that pawn? Doesn't really matter what, you lose that pawn, right? After rook to c1, this pawn is lost, right? Yeah, both engines are giving this for a clear advantage to white. So rook to c1 and the pawn is lost. Rook c1 and rook b8, b6. Okay, that's how you defend the pawn. Keep on defending the pawn, attacking on a6. Hmm. But okay, that's not the problem. You can go there, and if bishop takes, then takes, takes, and bishop takes, and now the rooks cannot defend each other anymore. So one of the rooks is gonna be lost. You can go there, attack the knight. Oh, this rook is defended, so this doesn't work. So this rook sack. Okay, we have this and now d5. E takes d5, and what's the continuation? Bishop takes b5, okay, attacking the rook and defending the a pawn. Where is the rook going? D takes e4 is if rook there. I just want to examine this. If rook there, which might be the best move, right? Pawn takes, rook takes. Oh, rook here attacks the bishop. The bishop has to move. And now rook there. So not taking here, but attacking the bishop. Bishop moves. And now this kind of thing. And with this b pawn, I'm not sure if this is good for black. I don't think so though. This seems lost, so you cannot move the rook. You cannot move the rook. Rook takes. So we have this takes. Knight here. King there. Something like this we had. Rook going in to the back. Some exchanges happened. Okay, let's just try and get this position. Let's just try and get this position. Rook takes, bishop takes. Rook here, bishop there, bishop there, bishop there, rook there, knight there, king there, knight there. It's white's move. So let's say king here, knight there, rook e7, h4, no, wait, rook there, no, wait, rook there, h4, rook there, and now it's white's move, white took, and bishop here. Still equal on pawns, but I think white with this outside passed pawn and his trapped rook is in very good shape, but I wouldn't know how to win that. Now knight d6 most probably. Knight here. Knight d6. Rook there. Knight takes. And pawn takes, and it's all over because next move queen is on the board, so you cannot take the bishop. Here in that position you have to do something else. g5 is a little bit desperate, I think. g5, rook Rook here attacking the knight. Knight b5 and rook takes f7, followed by king g6 and rook to d7, and I think it's all over. Because this trapped rook can never enter the things again. He can never enter the game again, and now we have this takes. But now why not something like this? Okay, I want to know what would happen if the king would have went back. Oh, then bishop takes, defending and attacking. Oh, and also now the rook is hanging. So this would be very bad. No, not hanging, but lost. Exchanged, and yeah, this is over. This game is over. Okay. Thanks for watching me analyzing the game. But I think now I'm gonna end my analysis because, okay, now the game is over. Anyway, so let's try and analyze it a bit. With Houdini 14, with Houdini 4, excuse me, not Houdini 14, Houdini 14 would be a monster engine. So Houdini 4 is also a monster engine, by the way, and let's see how long they played theory. Opening tips. So e4, this was the book line. Here I gave to them a4, castles, knight e2, bishop g4, g3, and now rook e1. What was the move before? Played live book. Bishop g4 was never played. Knight e7 or h6 were played before, and in live book this, see if I'm connected to the internet. I don't think so, so it shows me no live book. So now it will show me a live book. With bishop g4 we had two games, h3 and bishop h5. This game continued with rook e1 and queen d7. And now we had to move a5 and bishop back. In this move bishop b2 was played, followed up with knight e7, and only then this kind of maneuver was executed in that game. Okay, so far to that game. Now we are in a5 territory, and now let's ask Houdini what he has to say about its position. Bishop a7 and queen a4. Okay, rook fe8 and b5, knight b8. Here you see the evaluation of Houdini, how he charged the position. Knight takes and bishop e3. Bishop takes, takes, and Bishop here is clearly bad, because I think I knew why. Bishop a7 and now a6. Followed up with b6, and now this bishop is trapped, so this is clearly bad, as you see there. So bishop a7 immediately, and now rook to b4, rook b8, and rook and bishop to d3, followed up with bishop g6 and rook b3. So far so normal. This rook d7 wasn't the best according to Houdini. Bishop h7 or rook c7 would have been better. Because of the rook d7, this allows this b5, and now rook bc1 and rook b6 allows this d5 advance, takes, and bishop takes here, followed up with rook d. Yeah, why not rook d8? Thought about rook d8. Here comes the blunder. D takes e4 is a mistake, but why not rook back? That's e takes d5, knight takes d5, knight coming in here. Okay, white's position is clearly better, but at the moment it's still equal on material. And yeah, let's see how this could have continued. King h7 and h5 for h5, followed up with rook e1 and rook here. Let's let them calculate yet a little bit longer. So in this position, e takes d5, queen c, rook. Why not rook c7? This is what I have thought. Rook c7 is also a small edge, but only a small edge. D takes e4, knight h4. I would have done knight h4. Yeah, I think this is my main line, because this is clearly the best continuation, I think. Knight h4, bishop b8 attacking the rook, and now rook e7. What? Rook e7? Rook e7 is there. Rook e7, followed up with d5, okay. Pushing those connected passed pawns, and a4, a7. A7 is not so clear. Knight takes g6 is, I think, stronger. Then a6, and now f takes, and a7 now attacking the bishop. Bishop takes and rook takes. If the bishop moves, let's say bishop to d6 attacking the rook, new variation, then knight c4, and the rook is kind of trapped, so you have to take on e7, and then knight takes, and next move you're gonna queen, and this is over after just, yeah, you can also go c6 and toy a little bit around, but at the end you queen, and you're just up a whole rook, and this should be easily winning. So that's why you have to give up the bishop now, and after this exchange, king h7, it should be better for white. White in fact is up a piece, but black has 2 pawns for it, so there's still something to play for black here. But d takes e4, and now rook c8 check, king there, and knight h4 attacking the bishop. Rook e7 moves, takes, king takes, and now knight here hits the rook. The rook attacks here, and they're clearing the way for the rook. Now knight takes pawn, rook attacks bishop, rook defends bishop, king here, and now this traps the rook, and this is now just completely nice play from Houdini, and this is now definitely over. And here Stockfish resigned. Yeah, thanks for watching and see you next time. Ciao.